It's the grandson of right thought. So recently I've been seeing this attack against Paul in the Bible. The Apostle Paul. So a lot of so-called Christians are now saying that Paul's not a disciple of Christ and he was an infiltrator and this is that and the third. Well, look here. Y'all accept Peter? Y'all same ones that say Paul is no good? Do you accept Peter? Okay, because Paul and Peter, they had a dispute there, see? And Paul actually corrected Peter. He called Peter out on his sinful nature. He was dealing iniquity. He was hanging out with Gentiles, but when Jews came around, he would act like he wasn't. You see what I'm saying? And Paul was like, hey, man, that's false. That's fake. You being fake as hell, bro. So, and Peter was the one who also said that Paul speaks in things that are hard to be understood. So in other words, Paul's writings are difficult to understand because it's a heart check. Paul is a heart check sent from the Most High. He said he's sent to the Gentile. See? So the Gentile is an Israelite who doesn't know he's an Israelite. You understand that? See, a lot of people just think Gentile means that there's another nation other than Israel. That's true. See, and it also means an Israelite who doesn't know he's an Israelite. So, for instance, a so-called Negro today, if you would have asked him 10 years ago what his race was, he probably would have said black or African American. If you ask him now, he'll say, I'm an Hebrew Israelite from tribe of Judah or whatever tribe he's from. You see? So at one time he was a Gentile. He thought he was black. He thought he was an American. Or in the Roman times, he thought he was a Roman. Or he thought he was a Greek. Just like the time of Judas Maccabeus. The Jews thought they were Greeks. They were Hellenized. So those are Gentiles. They have to be brought back to who they are. Their identity, which is what's happening on the earth today. You see how the elect one is going to be a light to the Gentiles? Those who don't know. What did it say? Those who sit in darkness. They didn't know they were Israelites. He's going to shine that light. Bing! You see? So Paul was sent to the Gentiles to do the same thing. Now, what tribe was Paul from? All of you who say he's an infiltrator and all these things. He was a Benjamite of his own mouth. He also said he was a Pharisee of the Pharisees or a Jew of the Jew at one time before he was converted. Just like how you were. See? You were whatever you were, whether you were a devout Christian, whether you were a devout Jew, before you were brought to the truth of Christ, which was the truth. Love. You see? So Paul is a heart check. He's saying, hey, look, I know how it is to be in the flesh. And so I know how it is to be wanting to eat these things and to do like this and to be lenient with yourself. And that's what he's saying. And everybody's saying, see, he's trying to make you not keep the laws. That's what they accused him of then. They beat Paul 3 times, 5 times, I believe, that they did this to Paul. Because he was accused of the same things that people are accusing him of now, trying to turn people away from righteousness and keeping the commandments of God. Y'all ain't reading y'all Bible then. Now I ask all of you, how do we fulfill the law? What is the fulfilling of the law? Now what did Paul say? Paul said love is the fulfilling of the law. And he who has love has fulfilled the law. So is he lying when he said that? Christ said, I give you a new commandment, that you love one another. Is that not the same thing Paul said? Paul said, do we sin that grace may abound? Paul said that. He said, God forbid, which means just because we've been given this grace doesn't mean we just start sinning. That's not what it means. That's why he said, God forbid. But y'all are saying Paul's telling us to be sinful, to be lenient. Y'all need to study to show y'all self-approved. Paul also said that. Rightly dividing the word of truth. Paul also said that. Peter also said he speaks in things which are hard to be understood. So if you don't understand, then you just don't know. Siloam Yisrael.